All right, everyone, today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. But first... All right, that's a little more LinkedIn appropriate. Okay, so if you're a professional, odds are you have a LinkedIn account. I have one, lots of people do. It's a very good place to network, very good place to find new business leads, good place to look for a job. It's not a bad idea to go over your settings every once in a while and just make sure that you're protecting yourself. Let's go do that. Okay, so to start off with, where it says me in the top right corner, go ahead and click there. That'll open this little page right here. Go down to where it says settings and privacy. And that'll take you into your settings. First off, under where it says account preferences off to the left, that'll take you into your account preference portion of the review. First thing you want to do is go into name, location, and industry. Just scroll through here and make sure there's nothing that you might be putting out there that is not necessary to display to the entire public, okay? In here also, if you want to display your current position, just check this little box right here and it'll show that in your intro. Click save. That'll take you back to your home screen. Go back into it. Then I want you to go down to where it says sync calendar. Right here, I would remove all, and the reason I say that is this will mitigate the likelihood of you accidentally sharing personally identifiable information. That goes for contacts and for calendar. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all, just to be on the safe side. Next, we're gonna go down to where it says subscriptions and payments. Go into your billing information and just see if there's any billing information in there that you don't want LinkedIn to have stored. I would recommend not permanently storing any kind of like credit card or debit card information on there. Just in the event LinkedIn is ever breached, you don't want to have that stuff on file where they might potentially compromise your credit card number. Next, go to where it says view purchase history. You can either do this year to date or last 3 months, or you can customize the date. I say just go year to date and then just see if there are any kind of purchases in there that you don't recognize, because that could be a red flag that something's up with your account. Maybe you've been hacked or something like that. When you're done there, go ahead and back out. Go back to where you were, then go to partners and services. Here you can control which Microsoft accounts you might have granted access to your LinkedIn data. Here I haven't granted any, but this is where you'd see if you have. All right, when you're done here, back to the left on the pane over here, we're gonna click on sign in and security. All right, start off with your email address. In here, emails you've added. You're gonna have a primary email address. In here, the big thing to look out for is see if there are any email addresses in here you do not recognize, because that could be an indicator that somebody has been into your account and added their email. Back out of that. Next, we're gonna go down to where it says phone numbers. Same thing here. You wanna just review your phone number and see if there are any phone numbers in there that you do not recognize. I toggle on use for resetting password just in the event that I do get locked out of my account. They'll use this in order to help me reset my password. Next, under change password, if you have a weak password, you really need to change it to something strong. This is where you would do that. I highly recommend that you use a password manager to come up with something strong and unique. That way, if it's breached at some other place, if someone gets a hold of your password from another account, they can't use that same password on LinkedIn and get into your account. Next, passkeys. If you want to set up biometrics to get in, you can do that here. After that, where you're signed in, click there. And just take a look. Right here you can see I have 2 sessions set up. The big thing is that you want to review to see if there are any logins on your account that you don't recognize. If there are, again, that's a dead giveaway that somebody might have been into your account. Another thing to understand is that if you're using a VPN, it might pop up in a location different than where you currently are. That's okay. That's totally normal. Just understand that going into it. But if there's something really off the wall and you see that you don't recognize that location in any way, shape, or form, that could be an indicator that something is up. I personally don't associate any devices with this account, but that's just me. All right, 2-step verification, also known as multi-factor authentication or 2-factor authentication. I highly advise you to set that up. Here you have a few options. You can either set it up with a text message, you can set it up with an authenticator app. Just follow the prompts in here and it'll help you get through that. All right, after you're done there, go to visibility. All right, here you can select what others see whenever you view their profile, okay? They can either see your name and headline, your private profile characteristics, or private mode, that's where they can't see anything. I keep it in private mode because this other stuff just kind of feels weird to me. And what they'll see is anonymous LinkedIn member. All right, page visit visibility. All right, here you can allow organizations to see when you visit their LinkedIn page. I keep this off personally. All right, edit your public profile. Click here. All right, in here, if you have this toggled on, then you will be visible on search engines like Google, okay? I recommend toggling this off because let's say that a business professional is looking for your account. They're not gonna go to Google to find it. They're gonna go straight to LinkedIn. So I recommend keeping it off. That's just me. I'd advise you to do the same thing though. All right, who can see or download your email address? Click here. Here it's visible to only me. You can either go first degree connections, first and second, or everyone on LinkedIn. I like keeping this only to me. Who can see your connections? I like keeping this off. Who can see members you follow? I keep that to visible only to me. Who can see your last name? In this case, I don't mind putting it out there. Obviously, I'm on a YouTube channel right now telling you all this stuff. But if you would prefer to not have your last name out there, you can keep it to just your last initial and that's fine. All right, here, profile information on content. I like keeping this toggled off. That's just me. Page owners exporting your data. Here you can allow page owners to export information from your profile and your individual interactions with their organization. So like comments, reposts, followings, all that kind of stuff. I don't really want that personally. If they want my information, they can reach out to me and get it. All right, profile discovery and visibility off LinkedIn. Let's click there. I keep that toggled off. Profile discovery using email address. Here, you can either have anyone, first and secondary connections, or just first degree connections, okay? There's a little note down the bottom right here. It says first degree connections can always discover you since they're already connected. You're already connected with them. So if you want, you can keep it just to first degree connections. First and second, I think, is also secure. I really wouldn't have it to anyone just because I don't want anyone that got a hold of my email address to confirm they have the right email address by looking me up on LinkedIn. So most secure is gonna be first degree connections. Acceptable, I would say, is first and second. I would stay away from anyone. Public discovery using phone number. So I keep this to nobody, and a big reason behind that is I don't want some cyber criminal that got a hold of my phone number on a different site somehow or in a data breach or something to confirm my identity by going to LinkedIn and seeing that it's me. So I'm gonna keep that to nobody. All right, next look at blocking. And in here, you can just review who you've blocked, if you have blocked anyone. I think it's not a bad idea just to verify that the people that you thought you blocked are indeed blocked every once in a while. Okay, so next where it says visibility of your LinkedIn activity under manage active status. Click on here so what you can see where it says manage active status, who can see that you are currently active while using LinkedIn. I personally don't like people knowing when I'm on LinkedIn. I think it's just kind of, I don't know, it used to be really popular on things like Facebook. I'm just not a huge fan of it, so I keep that to no one. You might, leave it to where your connections can see you if you like to chat with them or whatever. I just wouldn't have it to where all people on LinkedIn can see it. I just don't like that idea personally. So I'm gonna keep it to no one. Going back, let's go now to share job changes, education changes, and work anniversaries from profile. I don't mind keeping that to where people can see that. That's just one of those kind of social networking aspects of it. So I'm fine with keeping that one on. Next, where it says notify connections when you're in the news. Sure, why not have that on? I don't see any big deal with that. You might toggle off if, for example, there's something negative about you in the news. Okay, at that point you might want to turn it off. But for the most part, I think most people wouldn't mind having that on. Next, where it says mentioned by others, in here, it'll allow other people to mention you in LinkedIn. I don't mind having that on, but where you might decide to toggle that off is, let's say that people are spreading negative gossip about you or something along those lines, or let's say there's a case of mistaken identity out there where someone is sharing that you did something negative and it's not actually you. And if something like that's happening, then you might go ahead and toggle that off. But right now, that's not happening in my life, so I'm gonna leave it on. Going back, let's go under followers. So here, if you have this to everybody on LinkedIn, it'll let people outside of your network follow you for your updates and things along those lines. Something that's interesting about here too is that you can make follow primary. And what that will do is when you go to your homepage where it says connect, it'll replace connect with follow, and that makes it the primary option for people to connect with you. So that's just something to keep in mind. You see a lot of public figures have that toggled on. I'm not enough of a public figure to really care about that, but it's just a personal choice on your part. After that, we're gonna back out. And that should do it with visibility. So next thing we're gonna do is go to data privacy. Okay, so now that we're in data privacy, under how LinkedIn uses your data, here you got a bunch of different options to look under. The first one I'd have you go to is get a copy of your data. And here, if you want, you can actually pull in whatever data is archived about you on LinkedIn. So that's just a handy feature just to be aware of. Here under search history, here you can clear your search history if you want to. Currently you can see I recently did it because my search history is currently empty, but that's where you can do that. Under personal demographic information, this is something they started doing to where you can input certain things about your personal demographic. I think they use this for some kind of research. Bottom line is I recommend not adding those types of data points into LinkedIn just because I don't like the tech companies to have more information about me than is needed, because if they ever get breached, I want to make sure they're getting as little information as possible about me. So I recommend keeping that minimal if possible. That same goes for social, economic, and workplace research, data for generative AI improvement. Keep all that stuff off. Under who can reach you, invitations to connect. Here, I don't personally mind having everyone on LinkedIn being able to connect with me. Personally, I'm not getting spammed out by requests and things along those lines. But just understand that you can also, if you want to go more secure, you can go to where it says only people who know your email address and appear in your important contacts list. That's going to be a little more secure. Or you can go to only people who appear in your important contacts list. Also going to be a little more secure. I kind of say that if you find that you're getting a lot of requests from people that you think are kind of spammy for whatever reason, then you might want to go to one of these other two options right here. Personally, I'm not having a problem with that right now, so everyone on LinkedIn isn't so bad. After you're done there, click back. Next, invitations from your network. Here you can get network invites for, allow page invitations, allow event invitations, allow newsletter invitations. I keep all of those on just because I don't mind them. They aren't really a problem for me, but if they become a problem for you, this is where you can toggle those off. Under messages, here you got a few different options. One big thing I would draw your attention to is right here where it says in-mail messages. This allows people to send you messages outside of your network. I personally like keeping that off just because I prefer to keep that a little more closed. I'd rather only have people connecting with me, messaging me. If they want to send me a message, they can connect with me first. So that's where I keep that one off. Here, this is kind of personal preference, job invitation messages from recruiters. If you're not looking for a job currently, maybe keep that toggled off. If you are, maybe keep it toggled on. Just something to keep in mind. It's not really causing me any problems, so I'm leaving it on right now. I am going through a career change, so that kind of makes sense that I would leave it on, right? Next, we're going to back out of that. Okay, under research invites, I want to keep that turned off just because I don't want third-party partners to send me invitations to participate in new surveys and things like that. So focused inbox. If you have that on, what it'll do is it's supposed to prioritize the relevance of a message to you. So if you want to have that on, that's not a bad way to go. When it comes to security stuff, read receipts and typing indicators. Here, you can have that on or off. Just understand that if you have that off, then people won't have that typing indicator up. So I kind of prefer that personally. I'm going to turn it off. Next, I recommend turning messaging suggestions off. This is my personal preference. Nudges, I'm cool with having that on. And then automated detection of harmful content, I'm okay with having that on as well. All right, so here under job seeking preferences, where it says job application settings, go in there. Here it says save resumes and application data, share resume data with recruiters, save self-ID information. I recommend keeping all that stuff off. And the reason I say that is that I don't want my stuff to get lost if LinkedIn ever gets breached, right? So I'm gonna keep that stuff as off as possible. Now you might do, if you're in the middle of a job search, you might upload that stuff until you find a job and then take it back down. But personally, I'm of the opinion that you should probably just limit the amount of stuff that you store on LinkedIn so that if they're ever breached, you're not losing too much data. We're gonna go back. Share your profile when you apply for a job. Again, if you're searching for a job, I'd say have it on. I'm currently not, so I'm gonna keep it off. Signal your interest to recruiters and companies that you've created job alerts for. Again, if you're looking for a job, go ahead. I'm currently not, so I'm gonna keep it off. So here under other applications where it says permitted services, I would just review real quick what apps and services that you have given access to your LinkedIn profile. just to make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary in there. Then go to Microsoft Word. Under where it says, should we allow Microsoft Word to display your work experience description from your profile and resume assistant? I keep that toggled off personally, just so that I deliberately know where my information is going. I don't like having it to where I have information from my LinkedIn profile being shared to something else like Microsoft Word when I might inadvertently expose something I don't want to. We're gonna click out of that, go to advertising data. Okay, so next under advertising data, bottom line is I keep all this stuff turned off, and I've kind of addressed it before, but you really don't wanna have more information out there about you that could then be exposed in the event of a breach. I know it's for advertising purposes, but bottom line is you're still gonna get ads even if you have all this stuff toggled off. They just won't be as personalized to you. I personally don't have a problem with that. If that's a problem for you, adjust them as you'd like, but most secure is to keep all this stuff off. All right, so now under notifications, what I recommend is just go through all these and just set it up to your own personal preference, okay? For example, here's invitations to connect. I'm gonna click in there. And like, I personally don't mind getting a push notification on that. I don't need an email about it because I don't want more spam mail coming into my email account than it already is there. But definitely in-app notifications and then push notifications are okay for me in that case. That's about the only one I really do when it comes to that kind of stuff. When it comes to like updates from my network and stuff like that, I really don't want like emails about it, so I'm gonna keep that toggled off. I really don't want push notifications coming to my phone on that either. I'd rather just see those in the app. So just go through them and then decide for yourself, like what's your own personal preference for the notifications that you're gonna get based off of other people's activity. Thanks for watching. For more stuff like this, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.